Hey, Podnutz, I'm gonna get this like a soft start. Let's say, get things ready. Gonna do, uh, gonna do a normal DDG here. Let me fix that. That doesn't. And then I'm gonna do some more of the small cast. I don't know what to call it yet. Okay, that bottom look right. Okay, better. I'm gonna fix this one too because I did not like that. Make it on the main page a little bit narrower and say transform center horizontal. Okay, good. Hey, Carlo. Hope everything's going good where you're at. I'm off work today. Went and got the oil changed. Could not believe it literally took at the place at the car dealership like less than 25 minutes. I'm sure they just wanted to get rid of me kind of thing, which is fine, fair, whatever. And I got a doctor's appointment, but not for like 3 hours. So got a little time. So I figured I might as well do a show. I don't believe we have any uh emails. Maybe. Uh Maybe I did not read this. Hmm. This was on 2/11. Oh, 2019. Why am I seeing this? Why am I not seeing more? Okay, that's not that's oh, that's sad because I'm an idiot. Okay, so let's go like this and say, yeah, here. There we go. Okay. 2/5 was the last email. Greetings. Yeah. I read that one. That's good. So I'm all caught up on emails, which is rare. I typically am horrible about that. No voicemails that I think of. Very good. Happy everything's going all great, man. Yeah, this is the time of year where everybody's like bouncing back from the holidays is my logic. And Mikey in Discord is from the Netherlands. That's awesome. Okay. Here we go. Keep this light and say, come over here, start my local recording so I don't mess that up too. Test. Looking good. Okay. Hey, Podnutzians. Welcome to DDG episode 37. My name is DoorToDoorGeek, owner, operator of Podnutz.com. And I would like to first and foremost thank everybody who is supporting the network, whether it be just by sharing links or by communicating, sending emails, joining me in Voxer on Discord or other platforms. Without you guys communicating with everybody else in the group, uh, I think it will be a little bit harder to do everything that I do. That's what I'll say. And we do have a couple new Patreon people. I want to say thank you to Chad B was a new one, and we have Christopher H. Were the two newest ones that I saw. Thank you guys very much. If you would like to have completely ad-free versions of this show, just go to patreon.com/podnuts. It's that easy. Which of course I hope everyone knows and understands is a joke. There's no ads on shows that I do. I try not to, is what I'll say. Um, I will say I did the experiment last week. Right now it's February the 26th. Last week, I believe on this day, I recorded no, it was Tuesday last week. I recorded 7 episodes of what I didn't know to call. So I called it like Microcast or something. Um and it the editing, the pre-production time doesn't exist because I already listened to insane amounts of podcasts. The actual production took very little bit of time because all it is just sitting here hitting record, and the post-production time was remarkably small, only because the file sizes were so small. It meant editing and post-production was just split seconds. Everything was done. Um, yeah, February, we're at like the 24th. On my podcast stats, I've listened to 21 days and 13 hours worth of podcasts. So I thought, why not, since I'm digesting so much podcast, why don't I do a podcast about podcasts kind of thing? I'm not sure about the name of the podcast. yet is what I'll say. One suggestion I had was to call it the revolving door, taking a podcast for a spin, and would be like the tagline. Which I'm not going to lie, I thought that was pretty good, but I think I've been more of a literal person these days. What I mean is, I want my SEO to make sense, so I'm literally probably thinking about calling it "Quick Podcast Review" or um, "Daily Podcast Review" or something literally like that, just because it will be easier to find, easier to say, easier to hear somebody say it and type it into your search engine of choice kind of thing. So I might be doing that. A daily podcast review, quick podcast review, but because my OCD, I was literally thinking about making it alphabetical. If I'm already doing podcast review, that's OPQR, so why not Q? So I was thinking podcast quick review, PQR, because OCD. Not sure yet what I'm going to do. I will say if you have suggestions, don't hesitate to shoot them in, because even though when I'm done recording this episode live on YouTube, here I'm today on YouTube, I'm going to basically record the first 7 episodes again, because I'm gonna do things slightly different, um, on them, and I'm going to post them to a new feed, but I'm purposely not gonna say the show name yet, um, because I'm gonna figure that out later. This is what we call now a soft launch. Like everything that launches now is never a final product. Everything is in a beta form when it launches, and then they figure things out as they move forward. Whether it was the Nintendo Switch, Google Stadia, or anything these days, nothing that launches seems to be completed, especially video games. On a lot of video games, I keep hearing on day one they have patches for the games, which back in the '80s was like completely unheard of. Is what I'll say. So I'm going to record them. I'm going to release them on a new feed. Um, the new feed, at least on the website's probably just going to be called um Microcast for right now, just because it forces me then to change it later. And I'm gonna get some custom artwork done, so it looks pretty is the logic. And then I will say my doctor's appointment today is for my shoulder, not for anything else. Everything else seems to be going fine, is what I'll say. Um, and I'm just trying to like maintain is what I'll say. And there was one link I wanted to bring to this show that I thought would cause good discussions, is what I'm going to say. Um, and it is a link from YouTube from Reason. I believe that actually they call it Reason TV. Um, and it is to basically a like sit down interview with George Holtz. And I'll say if you do not know who George Holtz is, um, I don't know what to tell you except you missed on a lot of stuff. George HTZ was the first guy who jailbroke the iPhone. He was the first guy to figure out how to bypass Apple security. When he was like 14 years old, I believe is when it was. Really smart guy is what I'll say. Not a genius, because no one is. We all have incredible blind spots that we are completely ignorant towards. But this guy, I will say, is I think pretty dang smart. And it is like a 20-minute video, I want to say, where he basically, 22 minutes long, where he goes through and says why he believes the idea of a self-driving car is a complete scam. Now, it comes with a caveat. He he owns a company where he's the lead developer, where he is doing um driver assisted computer assisted driving, is I believe the term that he is using for it. He says everyone now promising self-driving cars are complete scam artists. You have companies raking in millions upon millions upon millions of dollars from these investors, promising that they're going to make self-driving cars. And he says, no, they're not. And it will never be economical. It will never be feasible, because like right now, you take a look at the ones that are out there, they're literally $250,000 and they kill people. Okay. He says, first and foremost, which I utterly agree, you have to first be better than human drivers. Now, years ago, I would have thought that was a really easy task to do because humans can't drive. Humans suck. People die all the time. Tens of thousands of people die because of cars. But in hindsight, it's, only every now and then when drivers make mistakes and then they make big mistakes and people die. But now we know Uber, Tesla, they've killed people. They've just straight up killed people because the people took their eyes off the road. Okay. And he says all these companies promising self-driving cars are literally just scam artists. And then the like subline from this video is, and Silicon Valley needs to die. Um, I do agree the mentality of the companies out in Silicon Valley needs to change forcibly or voluntarily, whatever, because what they're doing, I don't think is a long-term, healthy, sustainable way to do things. Take a look at Facebook, take a look at Google, take a look at Microsoft. I don't like how any of them are. And I know Microsoft is up in Washington. I know Google's all over the world and, whatever. It's that mentality. The Silicon Valley mentality needs to die is what I'll say. Now here's back to his driving solution. Okay. His is not a $250,000 vehicle with all this insane amount of hardware on it. His solution is literally a customized, basically hacked, in all sense of the word, hacked Android phone, okay, where he replaces the camera. I believe he replaces the camera or he adds a second camera. I believe he replaces the camera with a infrared camera so it works in complete darkness just fine. And what his does, then it connects to the ODB port in your car. And I'm not going to say any car, but a large amount of cars built after 2012 have a fly by wire system, which basically means it already has a lot of the mechanics in place to allow assisted driving. I'm not going to say self driving, assisted driving. Okay. I'm going to try not to say automated driving kind of thing, but assisted driving to where you can take your hands off the wheel, you can take your hands off the pedal, the car can turn, speed up, slow down, do all that kind of stuff, okay? So you don't need a $250,000 car to get that part. And his phone has a camera looking out on the road, and instead of his phone doing what a lot of the other companies which are doing, which are literally spending billions of dollars trying to map every square centimeter on every road in the world, which I think is really stupid and pointless because they're always changing. Um, he then is going the opposite route, which is just trying to say, take this image, crunch this image, try to understand this image, and what would a human do? Okay. He has his vehicles, because of volunteers and everything, over 10 million miles driven without a single accident. And he attributes that partially to um, the people he has doing it are passionate people. They're all volunteers kind of thing, or not all volunteers, a lot of volunteers doing it. But his second point is his system has the infrared camera looking back at you, and if it picks up, you are not paying complete attention for even like 1 second, it will completely disengage and basically force you to then go back and engage with the car itself. He is insistent that there's like 4 levels of all autonomy when it comes to driving. Level 4 is where there is no steering wheel, everything is just done, and you're completely safe and nobody dies, kind of thing. He believes we can easily have level 2 everywhere, and it doesn't have to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It doesn't have to, you know, and all the infrastructure does not have to change, and it can coexist with normal drivers on the road. That's the most important part, because we're not going to go and we're not going to re-engineer all of our roads. Ain't going to happen. We're not going to go put all these metal things in the road or wires in the road or think it ain't going to happen. It costs way too much money. So I personally think his solution is among the better solutions. I still don't know if we have anybody with the actual vision that's going to win in the end. But what he kind of said in the video also was, we're going to see, hopefully, in the next 2 years, 2 to 5 years, extreme drop off in the number of companies and number of investors investing in these companies, and you're going to have a couple companies, getting closer to what the final product's going to be. He hopes he's in that group. He does believe Tesla is going to be in that group, and there was another one he believed was going to be in that group, but I can't remember which one. So, if you're interested in what I think of as a straight shooter, a literal computer hacker, a tinkerer with computers, if you want to hear what they think about the future of computer assisted driving, then I definitely encourage you to take a look at that video. Um, I will say Reason is a politically motivated channel and stream of stuff, whether it's on YouTube or email or anything. So I will say, uh, watch or beware. Don't be shocked if there is a little bit of politics in there, like sideways. But for the most part, it isn't about politics. It's just about technology and what he thinks, what he feels. The funny thing is, near the end of it, he basically admits that he would like to start a religion, um, to basically just to make people less jerks. Let's try to like make a religion where the goal of the religion is not to make money or change laws, but literally just to get people to be less like jerks. So I thought that was actually pretty damn funny. Um, again, it's George Holtz. Fully self-driving cars are a scam, and Silicon Valley needs to die on YouTube. Link will be in the notes. Uh, Again, I do not think I have any emails. I do not think I have anything else. The other thing I want to bring up though here, I almost forgot about that. Only because it's in the news, only because it really doesn't fit on any other show is the way that I'll put it. We here in America are now getting like some threats is the best way I'll put it. That people are now thinking that the coronavirus is going to any day on our shores and do whatever. I'm not going to say people need to calm down because people always need to calm down. What I'll say is this has been I do not like any news organizations reporting on this kind of thing because they all seem to thrive off of fear mongering, being very a alarmist about what's going on. And now Italy is this and Iran is that. I will say it's like anything else. The truth lies somewhere in the middle. Should we worry? Well, it's perfectly safe to worry. Should we go crazy? No, I don't think we should. I don't think any really place should because the numbers are kind of revealing, is what I'll say. Um, the only thing that confuses me on this page, and this page has been in existence now for a couple weeks, showing the coronavirus COVID-19 global cases by Johns Hopkins CSSE. I had to say that really slowly. I'm going to bring it up here so the people watching on YouTube can see it, especially if I show the right one. That would definitely help. Come here, copy, do this right this time, paste. Um, is there's a big gap in the numbers between 81,000 total confirmed cases. Okay. That's a lot. It ain't, but it's a lot, but not really. China had a lot of people. I'm going to move my image over here just so it's easier to see. Okay. The total cases, 81,245. That's a big number. The total number of the deaths is 2,700. Okay. 81,000 infections, 2,000 deaths. That's a lot less, okay, than a disease that's going to cause a plague and cause everyone to die. Okay. Huge less. If it was like a third, then I think we would really super have to worry, but that's not a third. Okay. A third would be closer to 30,000. Okay. And it's not. It's like a tenth of a third. Okay. So total confirmed 81,000, total deaths 2,000. Okay. Total covered 30,000. Okay. So total deaths 2,000, total recovered 30,000 does not add up to 81,000. And that's the only thing that I find not a little bit concerning is what's happening with the rest of the people. Are they just literally just in a hospital in a constant state of what I gather is like hacking, coughing, flu-like symptoms? Because that's not good. Um, the early news on this was that's going to take a year for a vaccine to be developed. The one thing I laugh at is when anyone tries to say those kinds of things because that's how long it took in the past. Okay. Every day we're seeing this exponential growth in our ability to do everything. Okay. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, cook a bird or, have pets or medical or technology or biotechnology or anything like that. It keeps getting better, faster, and everything. So this is less than 3 months old, in air quotes. The first case was December 31st, is what I'll say. And they're getting ready to test vaccines now, right now. Okay, less than 3 months. So when a news broadcast tells you it's going to take a year for a vaccine, anytime anybody tells you that they know how long something is going to take like this, never ever believe them. Never, ever, ever, ever believe them. You can take them with a grain of salt and say, "Oh, okay, that sounds fair," and you can remember what they said, but never rely on it because no, technology and everything is just ever increasingly getting better. Okay. The one thing that I like and which I would show to people on this page is this chart here in the bottom corner showing you the actual numbers on a line graph, and you can see there's a huge bump here in the middle in the diagnosed cases, and that's because they redefined what it was to do the diagnosis to have a lot more people diagnosed with it because they weren't at first sure how to diagnose it, and they got better at it. So now it became a larger spectrum of people. So there's a huge bump, but then you see it is dramatically slowed down here in the last about week and a half, 2 weeks almost. It's dramatically slowed down. It's not going crazy, even though literally less than 24 hours ago, hearing on the news that it's going crazy in Italy, it's going crazy in Iran, South Korea. Oh my goodness, it's going crazy. It's not even remotely close, not even remotely close to close. Um, so don't always just blindly believe news broadcasts, is what I'll say. Go to a source and look for yourself. And again, this is Johns Hopkins. And if anybody should be upset at Johns Hopkins and not believe Johns Hopkins, I'm going to say it's me. Because a little backstory for those that don't know it, I was born dead, different hospital, but I survived. Then, when I was young, my mom took me to a Johns Hopkins doctor because I would not stop turning my head back and forth. 12 Johns Hopkins doctors, 12 independent Johns Hopkins doctors all told my mother I was mentally retarded. Um, then my mom went to a 13th doctor and he said, "Your son needs glasses." Because what he sees, he's completely out of focus and there's a part of his retina that's burnt from when I was in the NICU looking up at the lights. So I'm just trying to follow that light. And this guy was not a genius. He was just a normal doctor. So if anybody should say, don't trust Johns Hopkins, I'm pretty sure it's me. Uh, really, I have no problem saying that. So if you want to bookmark this page and just check out the progress on it, you can. But I do think stuff should start calming down a lot more. Hopefully, they'll find something else to talk about in the news cycles. Because again, I listen to insane amounts of podcasts, and a fair amount of them are actually news based, is what I'll say. A fair amount of them are actually news based. I don't like listening to fiction. I don't like listening to stories. I don't like listening to falsehoods, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Um, no audiobook here because I don't want to listen to audiobooks. I want to listen to facts, not narratives. Narratives change people's minds. I don't need my mind changed. I think I'm doing just fine. Um, I will say again, if you want to send me an email, do not forget, you can send it at ddg@podnutz.com. It will come to me and then we can do it on the show if you want. If you want to join me live, there is a links in the notes to where I post when I'm going to go live, whether it's on YouTube, Discord, IRC, Mattermost, Twitter, whatever. I try to do all of that. And if you had any ideas about what the podcast review show should be called, do not hesitate to let me know. I need more ideas, is what I'm going to say. Probably like a week after it goes live, I'm going to go and do the actual branding on it and give it a proper name. I want to thank everyone again for their support. Thank everyone for their downloading. Thanks everyone for their support. And I will talk to everyone again real soon. And I'm going to stay online while I post produce this. Get rid of the coronavirus stuff. Um, I will say at least one person I know asked me, he said, "Don't talk about the coronavirus. I'm freaked out." And I'm like, "Well, you shouldn't be. Calm down." Oh, that lip smack at 4 minutes, 30 seconds was huge. Okay. Okay, so come here. We're gonna de-amplify. Yeah, I mean, doctors are like anybody else. Doctors are like auto mechanics, or like dentists, or like roofers. Don't believe any of them blindly. Be skeptical about everybody. Question everybody. There's a difference between skepticism and cynicism, and that's a name. I have to literally go slow. It's good to be skeptical. It's not good to be cynical. Cynical means no matter what facts you get, you'll never change your mind. That's a little loud too. But to be skeptical just means to question everything and accept change if it's enough. You know what I mean? If you hear enough facts, it's perfectly safe to change your mind, which I will say that's one thing I don't like about American politics. If you change your mind, you are evil. You're absolutely evil. And I'm like, no, we all change our mind when we get older. Everybody changes their mind. If you don't change your mind, then you're not thinking, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so let me delete that off. Let me go file. See, I should have already saved the project. That's dangerous not to. That's stupid, actually, not to. So this is going to be DDG 37. 37. Enter. File export. File export as an OGG file. Put it in that folder. Hit OK. I'll say I do actually like the idea of doing shorter episodes more often just because it makes editing so damn easy. And that's the only way I can put it. Literally. So damn easy. Okay. Quit. Let's go back to 2. Virtual box. Host all my editing software. And I'm going to do a screen share on that again. I actually think there are some people who like watching editing. Maybe. I don't know. Come here. Share screen. The whole screen. Here we go. Okay, so in my VM, I have it in a VM for a very good reason because then I never have to worry about software updating and breaking or changing. Everything just quote unquote works. Um, and I'll say I have no problem. Um, why can't I remember the key to split my screen? I think I just went to the wrong one. And I never have to worry about software changing. I never have to worry about software breaking. I never have to worry about any of that. Plus, I do not do any web browsing. So there's nothing to worry about there. Extra pain. So it's just F3. Oh, I was hitting that wrong button. Okay. So, is my keyboard not connecting? Keyboard's not connecting. So let me go like this. Connect back to my phone. Bluetooth keyboard that I have can easily change in air quotes what device it's connected to. And sometimes when I disconnect from this computer, it does not want to come back. So let me turn it off, turn it back on, because that always fixes everything, right? There you go. Okay, so now 3, thank you. Come here. Network, so I can copy the file over. Okay. Okay, 37. Go to output. Get rid of that. Okay, and I'm going to let's do a quick little work on this one. This is a nice and short one, man. That was really short. I was shocked. Okay, 22 minutes. So we come here. Don't need to do. Actually, I should have. Too late. Um, should have done some noise cancellation, but I already deleted the silence. Some place and compression. Negative 18. 1, 1. Enter. If this was an hour plus show, that would take 5 minutes sometimes. So I do like it when it's shorter. Let me do this. Let me fix that over here on the other computer. Go back to Podnutz. Okay, so now file export. I think it get quieter there in the middle. I want to take a look at that. Yeah, let me do this. Input. Ugh. Did I save that in the wrong? I think I did. I saved that in the wrong folder. Yeah, I did. Not perfect. Okay. And I'm gonna listen to this right here where it gets quiet. I don't kinda don't trust that. I'm gonna guess that's where I was, fumbling with the URL. 'Cause instead of copying and pasting the URL into the browser to show the coronavirus thing, I copied the description and the URL, so it just performed a YouTube, a Google search or quant search. Okay. I'm pretty sure I don't have to worry about that. Oh, forgot. Gotta go in here and say phone because it makes perfect sense that in this VM it's called phone to have it come out. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do one more thing right here and say Control E to bring that all into focus. Actually, let me go back out and do this. It, a huge part. Say Control E. Oh, it isn't easy to see. I'm surprised. It'll be easier to see. So let me go like this then. Say that to amplify. Always do 4.4. Don't ask why. I don't know. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. So let's go for export. This time we're going to overwrite. Yes, we're going to overwrite. Okay. And now I'm going to go back and delete that other file. And I'm purposely leaving, purposely going to leave the other microcast files around till I'm done doing everything. Got to be sure. Then, yeah, back in Thanksgiving, I had pneumonia. I still don't think I'm fully recovered from it. I'm still coughing and like spitting stuff up. And that's, I'm not smoking, not vaping, not doing nothing like that for months and months. Okay, so close. No. Okay, delete this one because we do not want that here. That will cause that thing. Yeah, I'm going to leave. Oop, I don't need any of these because I already moved it. That's what I did. Leave them. Yeah, I moved them into here. Okay. Also going to have to go through the process of creating a new template because right now in my templates, these are all the templates for all the shows that basically ever existed on Podnutz. Um, and that has all the like custom intros and everything to the shows. So like DDG, there's all my sample files, there's my project file, there's the microcast project file, which I started. There's the intro music, there's the outro music. I don't know why I have two separate ones, but I do. Okay, so let's go back in the incoming. Okay, I think we need to do this. Here, I'm going to change one thing, open recent, DDG. Get rid of this for right now. Maybe I'll bring it back later. I don't know. Control A. Slide everything to the left. Zoom in action. Mark the beginning. Delete. Add files. DDG. And I was contacted by one person who said they wanted to help a friend start to do a YouTube video channel. And was there any advice I could give? The honest advice is don't, because video is easily 10 times more work than audio. Uh, Granted, I understand people wanting to do video because, it's, dare I say, the hip, cool thing to do, but it is so much work. If you're not willing to literally like throw yourself into it like full time, um, I don't see how people can maintain is what I'll say. Okay, this one we're gonna change this ending. Yeah, I'll bring Eric back. Don't worry, I will bring Eric back. But once in a while, I just go change it. Okay. Delete. I should not have done that. Here. Here. Cut. Keep that clean. Oh, guess I shouldn't have done that. Didn't like that. I thought I always did it that way first. Launch back up. File recent. Yep. So let's do that again. Good thing. Even when this application crashes, it still allows me to open everything back up. Doesn't have a memory logic. Okay. Redo this. Delete. Again. So I delete that one. Okay. So I do delete it first. Okay. So there's the promo. Add files. And this one is almost instantaneous, right? Bang. Let's zoom a little bit in again. Get rid of that beginning. Because normally I wouldn't worry about that, but because I'm playing music in the background, truncate silence will not fix that. So I got to fix that manually, which is not the end of the world. It just takes a second. Okay, so let's try this again and say, mark the end. Click all three of these. Go like that. I want to mark that. Try it again. Mark. Come on. That. Finally. It only took me 5 seconds. Okay. Delete. Open. And see, it's already highlighted. Cut. Okay. So now we're going to add files, go into clips and say, let's do. Do this one. Can't remember how long that was. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's long. Okay. Well, that didn't go right. So maybe that's why I didn't have that one there already. So let's just go like this and say cut, add, this one, I'm guessing is the one I used before. No, look. Okay, so maybe I got to go like that. Yeah, let me just do that. Wow. No, let's not. Let's just go like this and just roll with it and say yes. Yep, and just call that a day. That'll be good enough. Export tracks, regular DDG. Okay, it's only 20 minutes long, so it should be 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe. Which I will say I love. And I'm going to start to prep for the micro stuff because that's over here. Again, 60-second science, 78 degrees, 99% invisible, a skeptic's guide to conspiracy. Adam ruins everything, all about Android, alphabet scoop. I'm going to have a little bit more information about each podcast when I do it, including how many episodes they have, frequency of episodes, and do I skip the beginning or outro to highlight a feature in most podcatchers now, podcast players. You can have custom rules defined for each episode and or each feed and say whenever an episode from this feed plays, skip the first 30 seconds or skip the last 30 seconds kind of thing. It's very, to me, very flexible. You take the time to actually customize uh, it, then you'll be much happier in my opinion, when you listen to a podcast. Some podcasts, and like the example I'll use is the friendly example I'll use is Security Now. It's a podcast I listen to, always listen to. I'm kind of shocked at the frequency that Leo doesn't pay attention, is what I'll say. the number of times that Steve Gibson says something and Leo doesn't respond, even though he was clearly asking him a question, kind of thing. Um, but I digress. Like that, the first 2 to 3 minutes of the show seem to never be about the show. So that would be a one. It's perfectly safe to skip a beginning part of it, and you won't miss anything to the show. And it's not necessarily you're missing ads because yes, there are ads in the very beginning, but it's just their pre-show banter is not security, and their show is sometimes long enough, 2 hours. It's perfectly fine to miss 5 minutes of a pre-show banter with a 3-hour show. Okay, to delete that, pull up my handy dandy command prompt. Go DDG 37. Almost done with the editing, and I'm gonna actually post this as soon as I'm done too. Because why not? Okay, let me come back here. Let me fix my camera. It's not crazy orange. Okay, not crazy orange. Okay, that is done. Okay. Delete that already. Copy this over to my folder. Okay. 8. I will say I really am liking even more and more um i3 window manager on Linux. I really don't have to touch a keyboard to do anything in the operating system. I only have to touch right, keep my hands on the keyboard doing everything in the operating system. Only have to touch my mouse when there's an application, something I have to do inside of an application kind of thing. I do enjoy that. I like not having to mouse and click windows and click buttons in operating systems. Okay. And I will say, if you take the time, you can use your keyboard in most applications to do most things. It's just, I don't want to say they hide that functionality, but they don't, like highlight it is the way I'll put it. Okay. So this is just going to be um, oh yeah. Self, uh, computer assisted driving is the correct term to do this. Pause. I know he's never going to watch he's never gonna watch or listen to anything I do. Is the term from comma AI. Let me try to spell that right. Yep. Okay. Computer assisted driving is the correct term. I want to say is so says 2 words or 1 word. I'm thinking it is. I don't know. One of those things it could be. Maybe 1 word. So says, weird search result. Okay. To a YouTube video, official video. So we're gonna keep it 2 words. Okay. Filling in the ID3 tags. An easy tag, which I still find to be the most simplistic yet easy to use ID3 editor. Either this is the kind of thing I really should automating. Pause. Okay. It's kind of static. What I'll do is, and now that I say that out loud, so DDG 3000. Also, if it's automated, then there's zero chance of having errors, which is always good. I am shocked at the amount of podcasts I listen to where all of a sudden they'll publish something and it's not right. Like there's no audio. The intro's there. The length of the show is right, but there's literally no audio. It's literally like 20 minutes of complete silence. It shocks me. Or they don't, they release it and there's like nonstop clicking in the show. And, it's like, don't you dog food? Do you know how to spell dog food? Do you know what dog fooding is? That's what I want to say. But because I have no tact, when I say things like that, I know I'll come off like a complete jerk. So I don't say those things. I do need to do a touch of maintenance in that folder. I don't like folders to get incredibly full, but let's first finish the posting of this. And then let's try to do some microcast stuff. I'm gonna try to make it not obvious that the show doesn't have a name. We'll see if that's works or not, but I'm gonna try to make it not obvious. And then I'm gonna have to figure out again how to recreate the tags and the types in WordPress, which isn't rocket science. I know that. I still have 2+ hours to my doctor's appointment, so that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna go the doctor for my shoulder orthopedist. I went and had an X-ray. I was again incredibly shocked at how fast that went too. I walked in an independent radiology place, gave him my name, did like the onboarding process. Now I know the terms. It was an onboarding process. And they were shocked. I had a $3 copay or whatever. Okay, sure, whatever. Here's $3. Um, Sat in the chair. Less than 3 minutes later, they called me back, put on the gown, then turned the corner, sit down. Did that. Sat in that chair for less than 3 minutes, and then X-ray, X-ray, X-ray. Thank you very much, and that was it. Gone. I'm really shocked when things go that damn good. That's what I'll say. Okay, so I'm gonna edit this. Oh no, I'm not. No, I am not. Why is this something not working? Oh my goodness. What is there you go. Okay. Something's going on the I don't know if it's the plugin or what. Huh. So I'm going to literally say save draft. I was shocked how long it took to clone that posting and then open that posting. Oh, there you go. Of course, as soon as I clicked off, it tried to do it. Okay, so let's edit it again. 37. Yep, yep, yep. I ain't gonna lie, I was slightly worried. And by slightly worried, I was nearly panicking. Okay, so we're going to yeah. This is actually damn near perfect. So my two links I talked about were George No, Hotz. George Hotz. Geo Hotz. That's what they called him. That was his like hacker in air quotes name. Not remember. Could not remember to save my life. Okay. Okay. No. Stop acting stupid. No, so hard for computers to stop acting stupid. Okay. Change this to a URL. Control K. Change this longer one to a URL. Okay. Good. Change the permalink. 37. Change the MP3 to 37. Publish. I think that's published. Okay. Okay. Now let me do this. Come back, open up my. I was going to look at displaying the actual podcast stuff. I actually did contemplate making this a video series, but again, video is a lot of hell lot of work. So what I'm going to do for the benefit of everybody in the chat. Thank you for the like, whoever that was. This in the chat and say, let's see if that comes across cleanly. Won't even let me do it. YouTube. Shaking fist. YouTube. Let me click this and say, I'll do it in chunks. Yep, here in chunks and say Control B, B, Control B. B. And I did figure out how to say at least one thing better, I'll say. After I listened to me talking about it, I figured out I didn't completely say one thing the way that I would have said it if I would have said it better. Okay. 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 So let me first go like this and just say, yeah, let's turn them on so I can see that. Ooh, okay. And then if I hit here, how quick is it? So it is just that. Okay. So that's good. Uh, let's see which one has it first. Which one do I have the custom skip some of the beginning? Uh, any of them? I don't know if I'm doing it to any of these shows. I haven't went overboard with skipping the beginning or ending of shows is what I'll say. Only if they're unbelievably consistent with their ads. And yeah, I don't do it to any of these shows, so I'm not going to talk about that in this session is the way I'll put it. Okay, let me keep that on silent. Let me keep it so the screen's always on. Okay, and what I can do for at least this video, I can say here. Huh, restart required. Well, why is that? Firefox. Oh, maybe I hadn't updated. I didn't even know. So typically when I say that, it never does restart. Don't know why. At least back in the day, that used to work. Okay, so I'll say showing the RSS feed is completely pointless. Is what I'll say. Uh, yeah. So we're not going to show that. Okay, so let me just do this then ahead of time. All these actually load. Firefox has stopped the social network from tracking you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. I think we're good. I think we are good. So let's first come up here and say peace. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to record first the new intro part. Yeah. We're going to be non-descriptive, non-specific about the show called Close DM. Gigs of RAM. I want to make sure I have plenty of resources. Turn up Audacity again. Do another test. Test. Looking good. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do two different intros. First show intro and then rest of shows intro. That's KKK. Hey, Podnutsians. Welcome to this new podcast. I'm tempted to do this. Okay, I'm going to do this. I am. Okay, here we go. Hey, Podnuts. Ian. 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 Here we go. Hey, Podnutzians, welcome to this new podcast. It's going to be a podcast review show. Here's the gist of it. It's going to be very short burst show, lots of content crammed in a very small area. The goal is to have less than 3-minute episodes. I right now on February 26th subscribe to 159 podcasts in my podcast player. On the average day, I literally come close to playing 24 hours worth of content because I listen at a high rate of speed between 4x and 5x typically. The example is again, this is the 26th of February. This month alone, I've listened to 21 days and 13 hours worth of content. So I figured I might as well share what I listened to. I'm going to go through this list alphabetically. I'm going to try to insert new things I subscribe to along the way. And the goal is when I'm done going through these 159 shows, I will then also have other shows to keep this going, keep finding new podcasts, keep moving forwards. I do listen to all my podcasts on Podcast Addict, so I'm able to even give some stats and stuff. Like, for instance, my playback history is 56,923 podcasts I've listened to. Also, I can give you some information from the Podcast Addict interface, like how many episodes they have. I can also give you sometimes how many subscriptions they have. Um, and I will tell you if I always have it programmed into my podcast player, whether I'm skipping the beginning or end of an episode because it's always the same kind of content. And that's going to be the goal of the show. Hope you guys like it. Do not hesitate. Send me any feedback at DDG at podnutz.com if you want it to be read on the show. Thank you. That was a 2.5. Okay. That's fine. That's going to be the first episode. Episode 0, in fact, is what it's going to be. That's fine. Okay, so now we're going to do the second or episode 1 plus intro. The next week we're going to redo that one with the actual correct name of the show in there. Hey, pod. Brain not working. Okay, yeah. Hey, Podnuttians. Welcome to another episode. Actually, I should just do the whole thing. What am I say? I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to hit stop. And I'm going to see one thing. Let me first take this episode and just put it out there like that. Close that. No. Control E. Export it as OGG. MC-00 OGG. Okay. Now what I want to do is I actually want to listen to. I had the other intro as. Maybe I still have here. Let me see. Yep, I think I did. So let me just double click this. Let me see. I think this was it. Nope. Let me see. What's it here? Nope, wasn't there. Here? Okay, I'm not at all confused. Damn. Control E. Back here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Opacity again. Here we go. Hey, Podnutzians, welcome to another episode where we go over podcast. Hey, Podnutzians, welcome back. This is the show where we go over all the podcasts that I listen to, and when I'm by myself, I do this a lot. When I'm on shows with other people, stuff just rolls. Okay. Hey, Podnutzians, welcome back. This is the show where we go over all the podcasts that I personally subscribe to, and we go over details about each feed. Yeah, this is not. Okay. Hey, Podnutzians, welcome back to another episode. This is the show where we go over all the podcasts that I subscribe to and we go over details about each show. The goal is to keep each episode less than 3 minutes. Here we go. And this episode is on 60 Second Science. 60 Second Science is a podcast, you guessed it, all about science. The description of it is leading science journalists provide a daily minute commentary on some of the most interesting developments in the world of science. They do have a full length show too called Science Talk. I don't think I subscribe to that one, as I'll say. Right now, it says they have 573 episodes. They say it's about 2 minutes, so it's actually about a minute. Not every day, but it's nearly every day. And they right now have 67,000 plus subscribers. If you are at all interested in up to the date um, if you're at all interested in science news, I definitely encourage you subscribe to this show. Gotta mark that edit right there. Was that did not come out right? Okay, bang, marked. Okay. And in this episode, we're going to go over 78 Degrees. 78 Degrees is was a podcast by Run Jump Stomp, aka Bill and his friend Richard. Basically, they went over things that they did not fit into their normal podcasting shows, where it isn't about video games, it isn't about other shows that they do. It was just them talking about all kinds of different topics. They only did 16 episodes. Their last episode was about a year ago. Their episodes are about anywhere from like half an hour long to like 50 minutes long. I subscribe to almost everything that Bill does just because I think he's a really nice guy. I have mentioned him on other shows. If you want to give this a listen and look back at history the way that they saw it, you can always go to their website. It is hosted on Anchor FM. And in this episode, we're going to go over 99% invisible. Yes, it is the numbers 99% invisible, hosted by Roman Mars. And the description is design is everywhere in our lives, perhaps most importantly in the places we've just stopped noticing. It's a very difficult podcast to describe, but when they say design, they mean all kinds of design, whether it be a physical design or whether it be a cultural design kind of thing. Right now, they have 424 episodes. They're about 22 minutes in length. They come out weekly. Right now, they have 1 million subscribers. Um, each episode is about 40 minutes. I will say I like this show just because I literally never know what I'm going to hear each episode. It's completely different. And the guy has a really good voice. No, yeah, really good voice. So if you want to listen to that show, you can check it out. And this episode is about a skeptic's guide to conspiracy, hosted by Mike Bowler. This podcast is discontinued. They had 109 episodes, about 28 minutes in length. It would come out about twice every month. Right, and it still has 9,000 plus subscriptions, and the description of it is my personal exploration into the world of conspiracy. Um, I will say I still have this in my podcatcher just so I can once in a while think, didn't I hear Mike talk about that kind of thing? And I'll go and I will listen to a show here or there every now and then. Not to mention, if the show does come back, I would like to know about it basically the day it happens. They haven't had an episode for about 7 months. Don't be shocked though. Anything could happen and he could come back. And this episode is about Adam Ruins Everything from MaximumFun.org. This is a podcast. It is discontinued. They have 49 episodes on their queue. They're about 53 minutes long. Used to come out every couple weeks. Has 80,000 plus subscriptions. The description goes, first, on the Adam Ruins Everything TV show, Adam Conover broke down widespread misconceptions about everything we take for granted. Now join Adam as he sits down with the experts and stars from the show to go into even more detail. Okay. So you got the gist of it. This was a television show where basically I think, likes to think about it as a truth teller, as a debunker. I just look at him as a guy telling you things that he sees, things that he looks up. He has like a quote unquote crack staff of people looking up details. And I will say, every episode they also give they also tell you where they get their information from. There's like little notes that pop up on the screen that you can look at and find their references for yourself. Um, Went over all kinds of crazy things like the history of marriage in the TV show, the De Beers Company and diamonds, voting in America kind of thing, all kinds of things that we really don't completely understand, and he tries to bring more light to it. And he even did episodes where he went back and corrected mistakes he made. I love this show for one reason. I like watching it with my family just because it causes us to have conversations. I ain't gonna lie. I like to have conversations with my family about these kinds of things because we can never be sure about all this kind of stuff. And it's good to at least be aware of what others say. And this episode is about, ooh, no. And this episode is all about Android on the Twit network. If you're unaware about the Twit network, they are a quite popular place where podcasts were, I don't want to say invented, but they were kind of invented there by Leo Laporte. This show does not have Leo Laporte, I'll say, unfortunately, because I do like listening to his voice. Even though I don't always agree with him, like his way of talking. Again, this is on the Twit network. This has 316 episodes. Each episode is about 90 minutes. It comes out weekly. Right now they have 197,000 subscriptions, and the description goes like this: All About Android delivers everything you want to know about Android each week. The biggest news, freshest hardware, best apps, and geekiest how tos double dash with Android enthusiast Jason Howe, Florence Ion, Ron Richard, and a variety of special guests along the way. Records Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Uh, I will say I listen to almost every Android podcast that I can stomach, just so I am more aware of everything that's going on. They have changed hosts throughout the years. Some of the choices I thought were good, some of the choices I thought were bad in changing their hosts. I will say Ron Richards maybe is one of the most passionate guys who I think of as not a professional podcaster, of like almost a fan. Um, Jason Howe, his thumb ring freaks me out. Florence Ion, I get the impression is first a journalist and then a tech person. Not really a tech. not really a person with techno lust is the way that I put it. But it is definitely a good show. Everyone I think should um, download and listen to this if you're at all interested in Android. And this episode is about Alphabet Scoop from 9 to 5 Mac. Right now they have 87 episodes. They're about 59 minutes long, comes out weekly, 713 subscriptions, it says here. And the description goes like this: Alphabet Scoop is a weekly podcast from 9 to 5 Google team bringing you the latest in Google News and our commentary every week. I have no problem in saying it like this. Not all podcasts out there, I think, try to have a unbiased opinion about things. For instance, most of the time when you hear a Google podcast, they're going to be very pro Google. I think these guys actually do a really good job of trying to remain impartial, try to stay a little bit far away from that Google love by calling them out when they do stupid things, but they definitely do point out when Google does good things because that's the point of the show, kind of thing. Um, they definitely sound like nice guys, good guys who do the show, and I definitely encourage. This is another podcast I think everybody should listen to. And don't forget, if you have a podcast, and don't forget if you have a podcast, hey, no. And do not forget if you do a podcast or you think I should listen to a podcast, and if you do a podcast or know of a podcast you think I should listen to, please shoot me an email at ddg at podnutz.com. Take it easy, everybody. Okay, so shave. Let's first do a shave. This is going to be MC dash 01 through 07, I believe. AUP or Audacity. Okay, so now here's where we need to start doing some surgery really quick. So we're gonna do this again and say share the screen because it sounds stupid when I say the stuff I'm doing. Okay, first a couple blown intros. So let's just zoom in. Let's see. This is not an intro. Yeah, this is the right one, I believe. Let me listen to this real quick. And I don't think can I. No, see, you're either going to hear me or that. I don't think there's a way I can do both. Do not think there's a way I can do both. That sucks. Okay. Okay. So this was the first one. This is going to be called uh, this and say new control V. This is going to be intro. Oh, well, this is going to be MC intro. Yeah. Okay. So literally just like this. Actually, let's try to save this. I did. I can do this here and say delete. Huh. This right now. Yeah. So this is what we get rid of right here. Bang. Come here. This is going to be episode 1. Yes. Control C. NC01. Close. I gotta click to get down there. Okay. I want to be 210. Thought I could just do that. Oh yeah, I do this. Zoom out. Dummy. Okay. One is. Let's start that one over again. Okay. Remember if I started on Control C, Control A. Actually, I don't need to do all this, but whatever. 2. Okay. Control W. No. Control C. A. B. K. W. No. A. No. That up. A. Log. 4. Enter. No. Yeah. You can clearly see when there's a length difference. Yes. I mean, bad. Let's try to keep all the editing out of this. Keep in the actual VM. Pause. I'm not going to publish this. I did restart this one. Yeah, I didn't want to say, and this episode is all about because too many abouts. Don't need that many abouts. So get rid of the editing part again and say like this. Delete. Delete. Deleting. Delete. I don't know why. Sometimes it will not do that. 6. GG. You don't, delete the wrong characters. Least. Oh, no, not last. Not last. Oh, don't make that mistake. 7. Then we're going to have outro. I'll have the outro. This and say Control New, Control V, Control E. This is the actual outro. Yep. Manually leave that stutter out, even though I never do that. Because you can still hear the stutter, and that's fair. That just proves. Okay, so let me go like this. So everything was delete that, and then delete that. I'm okay with it being trimmer. Called outro. Good. Good. Okay. Bang, bang, but looking good. Now we can actually close that. Stop the screen sharing. Come here. Okay. Quick cursory look. Okay, let me also come here and say if this becomes annoying, please let me know. 222, almost done. Come over here. Checking out. Oh, that, close that. See real quick. Oh, he is back. Okay. Okay. All right. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking clean. Nothing blew up. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks for the like there. Can't hurt. Give it a like, kind of thing. Going to do another show tonight. We're going to do mini PC. Crap tons of news because we haven't done one in like 2 weeks, so it should be lots of fun. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.